As I've mentioned previously, there are quite a number of different termite baiting systems available these days. And if I'm being honest, there are even stations you can buy off the internet for DIY purposes. And you may be surprised to know that for many pests, like cockroaches and rodents, I actually endorse the DIY approach if you're that way inclined. When it comes to termites though, I can't stress enough that this is one pest not to muck around with. If you get it wrong, the damage they do is simply not worth the risk. So using a professional along with premium products means you stand the best chance of protecting your home for the long term. So getting back to the best baiting system for your house, there are three main types that we recommend here at Suburban. The Exterra Termite Interception and Baiting System, Sentricon Always Active, and Trelona Advanced Termite Bait Station. At Suburban, we're accredited to use pretty much every system available. However, we found these three to be the most effective. Before I go through the pros and cons of each system, it's important to highlight that we will always recommend the one that is most suitable for your property, rather than offering the same system regardless of the situation, which unfortunately some companies will do. So if we start with the Exterra system, this has been our most popular baiting system over the last 20 years. This is largely because it has stood the test of time and proven to be our most effective station over the years. Exterra is designed to have timber interceptors in the station, and once termite activity is evident within a station, you then add the Requiem bait. Because of this approach, it does mean we need to monitor the stations more frequently compared to other systems with the bait already in them. But despite this, Exterra is still one of our most popular bait stations among homeowners because it appears to be the most attractive to termites with the most palatable timber. And time again, the effectiveness of the Requiem bait to eliminate an entire colony has proven unrivaled. Which is why I would like to explain why this process is so important. You see, using chemical products like Termite to treat live termites can be very effective, however, it is very hard to measure that success. You see, we can treat them one day and return a short time later and have no activity present, which indicates success, but how do we really know? If we could not locate the nest, we cannot say for sure. And there are no doubt times where we cannot eliminate the entire colony using chemical, so they could potentially regroup and go again. Unless you put something permanent in place, like a soil treatment of course. The thing about Requiem or similar bait products is we require multiple visits to top up the feeding stations. This means we can physically see the bait being consumed over time and see the live termites being affected. This includes things like seeing the ratio of workers to soldiers changing over several visits and the colour of the termites changing too. So this process can take longer than chemical, but guarantees elimination when chemical cannot, and gives you confidence when you can see the progress happening throughout the colony control process. Now bringing it right back, the next system I wanted to talk about is Sentricon Always Active. This was the first of its kind in that the active ingredient bait was embedded into the same cellulose attractant that the station gets installed with. So what does this actually mean? It means when termites start consuming the contents in the station, they begin the colony control process immediately, rather than needing to wait for our next visit for the bait to be added, like with Exterra. This groundbreaking concept was huge at the time it came out, as it meant you could monitor the stations less frequently and still be effective. It does still require monitoring though, or it will eventually become ineffective. This should have brought the price down substantially. However, unfortunately, the cost of the new technology meant the product was far more expensive compared to other systems. More recently, BASF, who make the chemical product Termite that we've been talking about, brought out their own active bait station in Trelona. Trelona Advanced Termite Bait System had the same concept as Sentricon, but was more versatile in the cartridge options you can place in the station, along with the ability to use it in conjunction with a termite or soil treatment. This has been a huge benefit for those that prefer chemical solutions, but thanks to limitations, like a timber deck in the way, means we can still achieve a full termite management system using a combination of products from the same manufacturer. And of course, the frequency of monitoring Trelona is similar to that of Sentricon, more so than Exterra, which can save you money. Well, I know that's been quite a lot to take in, but hopefully it all made sense. So now that I have covered the three different systems, which one would suit your property? Ultimately, this would need to be determined by our technician on a case-by-case basis. However, typically we still recommend the Exterra system for the most high-risk sites that chemical solutions would not be suitable for. This is often our preferred option because it has been so effective for so long and we've consistently achieved great results for so many years. On the other hand, Trelona is great for homes with less pressure on them or where a partial system may be required, like in combination with a chemical solution, as I've mentioned previously. When it comes to buildings that are less high risk, you can get away with less frequent monitoring, which can reduce the cost and is always our aim at Suburban. That is, to find the ideal tipping point for adequate protection with maximum value. Regardless of which system you end up going with, it's really important to remember it is only effective if it is being maintained. This means ongoing monitoring, but also equally important is choosing a company you know will service the stations properly and offer you so much more than just checking the stations. So what should be included in addition to installing the stations? Let's get into that next, explaining the SPM difference and why we're talking about so much more than just the termite bait stations.